graduate, and it can be repaid by you or your future employer. The second financial support avenue here at ANU is called associate. This association awards annual tuition scholarships to continuing students who are in need of financial assistance. So that means if you need to clear your fees or you need some tuition support, this fund is for you. All you have to do is apply when you're an actual student of Nazarene. And the details on how to apply can be found on the university website. The third
Good morning, everyone. It is 9:30. Great to see we have at least 60 people and counting as we start today's session. Feel very much welcome. We are grateful for those of you that have kept time. We'll give 5 more minutes as we prepare to start our morning with devotion. And yes, let's prepare for another beautiful day, interactive day, as we get to learn more about this university that you have joined. A lot of people are coming in. So in the next 5 minutes, we are going to start and we will start with the devotion. Thank you.
As we admit the rest, please be reminded that we will be live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can take these 2 minutes to go and check out what normally happens on campus. Through our social media platform, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we do have Instagram. Be posted, tweet, share, tag someone, tag a friend to know that you are officially now a student at Africa Nazarene University.
What begins here transforms the world. Great team indeed. Please be part of this changing team.
Thank you, John Henry. Thank you, Reverend Richard. Good morning, everyone, once again. My name is Maureen Kinoti. I work in the Dean of Students office under the Health Services. Today, I will be your morning host or your morning moderator, while also participating in the team activities for this morning. So this morning, what do we expect of the day? What do we expect of today? Today we are going to learn about student life. Student life is everything that happens to you as a Nazarene student that is not in the classroom. Campus life is wholesome life, it's holistic life. And we endeavor to make sure that your life is interesting, that you acquire skills that are not necessarily just from your class. There are other skills that make you productive members of society. And our business as student affairs is to do that, to make it interesting, to make it involving, and to keep you healthy. So we are going to hear from the Student Affairs Office. After that, our university, as from yesterday, you have quickly gathered, is founded on a holiness foundation, a Christian holiness foundation, and our chaplaincy is a large part of that. So mid-morning, we are going to have the whole team telling us how our spiritual life grows and is strengthened as long as we are at Africa Nazarene University, and it carries us on forward. Following that, in the afternoon, our Vice Chancellor will speak to us. He's the CEO, as the Dean of Students yesterday told us, and we'll get to hear and learn a lot from him in the afternoon. So I hope you're all looking forward to today. And at this point, we have over 100, we have about 116. As more people come in, I'd like to invite Pastor Sean Batty, who is one of our assistant chaplains in the university, and he will share with us a devotion this morning that is going to last for 10 minutes. Once more, feel welcome. For those of us who are joining us from outside Kenya, outside Africa, welcome. For those of us here, karibuni sana. Thank you. Christine, it's nice to see you smiling this morning. Yes, I am seeing happy faces. That is good. Welcome. Sean, take over.
Thank you, Maureen. Appreciate that a lot. Good morning, everyone. Trust you are having a good time. Oh man, how I wish we could be able to meet in person, but we thank God that we have technology to help us connect. And so for the next 10 minutes, I just want to spend time encouraging you. My name is Sean Batty, and I am associate chaplain at Africa Nazarene University. My home country is Zimbabwe. So for those who are students of ANU and you are outside Kenya, I'm one of you, and I'm also an alumni of ANU. 2012 and then working thereafter. So I just want to share with you briefly, and before I read a scripture that I want to share with you, can we just pray at this moment? Father, we thank you for what you have done for us in our lives. Thank you for who you are to us. We are so grateful that you love us, that even you loved us before we even got to know about you. So we are grateful, God, that you really love us. Thank you for this day, and thank you even for the blessing of opportunity to study. We are so grateful. Lord, would you be with us in this moment? Help us as we share your word and speak to us in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. What I want to share with us really has to do with being in a place that one has never been in. I don't know if you have ever been in a place that you'd never been in before in your life. And sometimes we get to places that we have never been in our lives physically. Sometimes we get to those places mentally. Sometimes we get to those places because of a tragedy. Think about someone who travels to a new country and they don't know anyone there except the person probably they were communicating with, whom they have never met in person. Think about being in a place mentally. For example, maybe you have received some money and you had never handled such money in your life, and now you are in a place where you have to make a decision. Or think of marriage, think of maybe someone passing away, and now you have to be living life with that person. So basically, when I'm talking about a place you've never been in, I'm not just talking about traveling by bus, but I'm talking about sometimes we get to situations and places mentally that we really don't know what to do. But yet, this is what life is, because life, in simple terms, it is a journey, and the journey is requires you to move from point A to point B in order for you to get to point C. And sometimes you have to go through uh, places. And so we is we realize that Joshua is in a place where he's about to take people to a place they have never been in. They have heard about it, but they have never been there. So the Bible then says in Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be discouraged. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Now, as a new student coming from high school or from wherever you were studying and getting into the university, a place you have never stepped foot in, you have never been in such an environment like this. You have never, if it was under normal circumstances, then you would have been on campus. And some of you, maybe you would have been in a university, and you have never stayed alone. You have never had to make decisions by yourself without consulting anyone else. And now you are at a place where you will be told university life, really you have to make it your own and you have to make decisions. And this is the time where you are building on top of what you have already been building. But then your previous life, you have really been having someone else pushing you, dragging you out of your bed, telling you wake up to go in school. And some of you were in boarding schools where you had to wake up at 5 a.m. But then you show up in a place like this, and now you're even studying online, meaning to say you wake up at whatever time you want to wake up. You do your assignments at your own free will. Nobody follows you. Nobody will really push you except if they are just encouraging you. And that's a place that some of us have to deal with. And as a new student, you have to deal with the fact that you have to deal with cards and exams and assignments, and you're going to be writing assignments. Some of them have more pages than you have ever written before. You have to do research, and maybe you've never done research in that. But yet, these are not territories that you're going into that people have never been in. There are people who have been there. But the secret about being in a place that you have never been in, mentally, spiritually, physically, is that you have to rely on those that have walked before you and the instructions that are existing in that place. For every place anybody gets into, whether mentally, spiritually, physically, there's always some kind of a GPS that helps you and guides you. And what is very important is to listen to the GPS of what it is telling you to do at that particular moment. And to also know that you have to trust something else that is higher than you, above you. And so Joshua is being told by God that he's going to go to Canaan. But for him to go to Canaan, he has to listen to God and he has to meditate on the book of the law. And the Lord tells him, have I not commanded you to be strong and be courageous? This journey that all of you are venturing into, if you're not strong, if you're not courageous, and I don't mean going to the gym and just lifting up weights, but I mean if you're not mentally strong, if you're not spiritually strong, if you're not courageous enough to make bold decisions and be able to say no and be able to say yes to things that you're supposed to say yes to. If you're not able to distinguish between the two, then you will struggle. But this journey in the university life will require you to be strong and courageous, will require you to be mentally strong. So you need to exercise your mental being or your mental state by the things you absorb on a daily basis. And that means what kind of friends do you choose? That means what kind of people are you going to work with? That means you choose you make sure you divide your time wisely. That's part of being mentally strong, that you're able to follow up on what you have decided to do, that you're able to go right to the finish line of every assignment, of every exam, of every class, of every decision that you make going on and forward. I don't know how you ended up choosing ANU, but because you are here, it is not by mistake. Neither is it an accident, but it is a choice that has a lot to do with who you will become in your life. Now, Paul in Philippians 4, verse 13 then says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, meaning to say, what you are about to venture into and what you have gotten yourself into, you will do all things through Christ who will give you strength. You have to rely on his strength at all times. The road may not be easy, but there are places it's going to be easy. But how you deal with every step of your university life is going to be crucial. So I invite you to a place that you have to be mentally strong, but you need your spiritual stamina to be able to overcome the odds. As assignments get harder, as exams sometimes terrify you, you have to know that you need to be strong. Trust in God, trust yourself, work with the right people, consult where you need to consult, because you are in a territory that you have never been in. But yet, this territory, some of us have walked through this place. You have witnesses and challenges of this territory. So you will not be the first one to face these challenges, but you will need to look at those who have already walked that path and walk with them. We have a mentoring program in ANU that if you follow it, if you become part of it, then it will be very important that you as these people want to work with you and support you and pray with you and give you guidance, that if you listen to it, you will make it. You cannot walk this journey alone, but you will need to be strong and courageous, because that's what this journey requires. And you have to meditate on the law and the law of God. And it will be good for you and it shall be well with you. Meaning to say, as I close, that when Paul says I can do all things, it is not just to say he was talking about good moments, but Paul is saying, if I wake up one day and I don't have enough, I can still do what I need to do. If I wake up tomorrow and I have more than what I want, I can still do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If I wake up tomorrow and I have enough for what I need to do, I can still do all things. Because sometimes it's not just having more, it's also being mentally strong that helps you to do what you need to do. So you cannot separate your spiritual life, your mental life, your physical life. All these things, they are very important for you to be successful. And lastly, Joshua says, you will have good success, meaning to say there's bad success and there's good success. But it is your choice. Do you want to be part of bad success or do you want to be part of good success? The Lord be with you and the Lord bless you as you embark on this journey. This is possible. This is doable. The Lord bless you and the Lord be with you as you continue the rest of the day. We will see you later. Thank you. Back to you, Maureen.
Thank you, Sean. Amen and amen and amen. I hope the message today on your choices, on getting into new spaces, has sunk into most of us. I could see there are people who are taking notes. Like Kodeko is very seriously taking notes. He's very smartly dressed. Kodeko, you look very good this morning. And even the rest of you, you look very bright and very ready for today. So on that note, thank you, Pastor Sean, and we wish you a good day. See you later in the morning. We are going to meet with the chaplaincy team from 11:30. After that, we are going to, of course, have the Vice Chancellor's address. Now, before that, a few housekeeping issues. Thank you all of you that have renamed your devices with your names. I can now see whose names are there. I'm not seeing Galaxy, I'm not seeing Infinix. So if you haven't done so, the few of you who haven't, please rename your devices with your name. It's an option available on Zoom. Although you cannot see me clearly, I can see you on the screen. Good morning. At this point, we are going to listen to our Dean of Students and the team that works in the Student Affairs Office. I would want him to come and introduce all the staff members that work under Dean of Students Office. Of course, in this forum, we have other staff members who I would like to acknowledge, people who are working behind the scenes to make this a success. We have Mr. George Athoye, we have Mr. John Gila, we have John Henry, we have, I think Imelda is here, we have Alfred Wabwile. All these are staff members who are making sure that we are streaming live and we are on point and our network is stable. So thank you to all of you. You may not see them, but they are working very hard behind the scenes. So at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Boyo to take over the next session. Dr. Boyo.
Thank you very much, Maureen, and good morning once again. I'm so happy to see our students joining in. We are at 190 now. Yesterday, we were around 250, 280, almost 300. I hope the rest of us will be joining as we go along. Maybe let me start by making a request that on our social platform, WhatsApp and whatever, kindly remind them that we have started and they really need to log in so that together we can move forward. Thank you, Pastor Sean, for the wonderful, such a blessing devotion this morning. We are encouraged and we are very grateful. Yesterday, we had a wonderful day, and I want to thank all of you for your great participation. The engagement that we had was wonderful, and I really want to appreciate each one of you. I want also to hope that today we are going to have an equally great day. You will be engaging with the staff in the Office of the Dean of Students, Student Welfare Department, that is. Later on, as we have been guided, we'll be engaging the chaplaincy. And at the end of the day, we'll be having a great conversation with the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Stanley Bebe. And I want to assure you that you are going to enjoy this day and you will appreciate that God gave you grace to live at such a time as this and to interact and to meet with such people. I am going to do a presentation that relates to the function of student welfare. This really has to do with student life. And you will agree with me that in the next 4 or so years, the bulk of your life will have to do with Africa Nazarene University. We need to appreciate that into the future, Africa Nazarene University is really going to be part of your life. And for that reason, there is need for us to understand how best we can make use of the opportunity that we have, how best we can become better people while going through ANU, and how best, again, we can contribute our talents, our potentials, and our capabilities into this bigger goal of Africa Nazarene University, that what begins here transforms the world. This morning, again, I want to appreciate that we've been joined by Africa Nazarene University Student Council members. This is the governing body of the Africa Nazarene University Student Organization. By default, registered as a student, you are a member of Africa Nazarene Students Organization. And that organization has a council whose leader is a chairperson. You'll get to interact with them later on as I'll be introducing them. Maybe before I go into the presentation per se, let me appreciate the great work that the technical team is doing, as Maureen has highlighted, George and Obure and Imelda and all that. We are making sure that things are happening within and out there, and people are following. Let me encourage you, if you've got friends, parents, and whatever, you can tell them to log into our social media platforms and follow through this conversation, and I'm sure they will enjoy, they will appreciate, and they will get to learn. We have members of staff in the student services. Thank you, Maureen, who is our moderator today. Maureen is the head of Health and Wellness Center, issues to do with Medicare and all that. I'm sure she will be speaking to that later on. We have Richard Mugongo, who was moderating yesterday's afternoon session, a student services assistant, and also focuses on the welfare of international students and student mentoring. We have other staff members that deal with specific areas. We have our counselors. David Jones is with us. You will be interacting with him. Ruth Kiryamana, student council as well. We have people in charge of sports and all other functions that I'll be talking about. But before I give them time, let me just lay a background of what this department is all about, so that as we interact, we can be able to appreciate where we are coming from and be able to. Maureen, kindly confirm that you can see my screen from that end.
Yes, I can see it. Make it larger. Yeah, like that.
Thank you. We are really delighted to host you. Student welfare and the Office of the Dean of Students is really your contact center, and largely is going to make your home. Our interaction will be more close, and we will make sure that we give you an environment that will help you become a better person. We are in charge of life outside the class, and you'll appreciate that there is quite a chunk of time that we have outside our classes. And our focus is how best can we ensure that holistic learning and engagement happens beyond the classroom. And I would want to take us through the few details here and there, just by underscoring that we may not be able to exhaust everything to do with student life, because it's very dynamic, things emerge, and each and every day we respond to new things, just like COVID-19. We have always been doing our orientation in the campus, but this is an emergent issue we've not witnessed in our lives, and we had to respond to it. And this is the reality of life. We want to prepare ourselves that the only constant thing in life is change. And one of our responsibilities is to prepare our students both now and in the future to be people with tenacity so that they can be able to adopt, appreciate, and thrive in times of change. I will not go into details of this, but it's important for us to understand the basics. Where are we coming from? Who are we? Because if I don't help you to understand the home with which you are operating, you may have a challenge doing your operations in there. So the first important thing is for you to understand, as I call myself an ANU student, what does that mean? And in the next few minutes, I want just to spend time to lay that foundation by starting to underscore that we are a private Christian university. That by itself speaks volumes. Of course, we are sponsored by the Church of Nazarene, but private Christian university really lays the foundation of whom we are. And that really speaks to our focus on excellence, focus on quality student service, and focus of commitment of our staff to see to it that we give our students the best that we can so that they can be people transforming the world beyond. Again, who we are, Christ-centered academic excellence. Professor Reed talked about this yesterday, very important. We would want to ask ourselves, if you are going to be an accountant, what kind of an accountant are you going to be? And allow me, young people, to just remind us that where we are at the moment, a degree only cannot be your differentiator that might give you an advantage out there. Everyone can have a degree, but beyond a degree, we are living in the 21st century where the issue of character, integrity, excellence, diligence, and hard work is what sets people apart. And that is really our focus. We want to differentiate our students at that point level. The issue of mission is holistic. We don't want just to train your head. No. We want also to focus on your personality, your soft skills, your community engagement, your communication, how you address issues, because that whole package is important for us to be people that champion change in the society. And our tagline is this. This is what defines us. Whether we are eating, we are sleeping, we are walking, we are in class, or whatever. What begins at ANU transforms the world. In your 4 years or so, and into your life thereafter, make these 3 things your cardinal values. I'm telling you that they are irrefutable, transcendent values you will need beyond Africa Nazarene University. No one would want to interact with the people without character. If you are not competent, no one would want to hire you and to pay you. People are paid for competence. And if you are not able to engage in the community and be of value and of service to the community, you will be out of place. Make these 3 C's your cardinal values at ANU and beyond, and you'll be a happy graduate of this university. I will not talk about the schools that we have. Professor Reed mentioned about the same. I hope you have now interacted and gotten to know where you fall and which school your program falls. And I'll go directly to student life and just basically, in a nutshell, summarize what we are all about. 4 key functions and areas of focus. Number 1 is student services. We'll be discussing that into details. We are a support function that provides a number of services that will support you while here at the university. Number 2 is the issue of student engagement. Maybe I'll dwell here a little bit. If we don't engage our young people constructively, we will lose destinies. And our focus is inviting us at the table of engagement so that we can converse. We can hear you. We can see the talent and the potentialities in you. And we can create a system that can help develop this and make this into something that can be marketed, that can be of value, that can be of use to the community. General welfare is the 3rd issue. We are people. We are a Christian community. Your life matters to us, both academic and non-academic life. We would want to make sure that you are safe and all that. Your welfare is our concern. And we have, as we mentioned from the other day, this is your second home, actually. The 4th area is the issue of values. We are a people of value. We are a people of character. We are a people that we want to make sure that we mold our students. And you will agree with me that in the 21st century, the greatest challenge that our young people are suffering from is being in a society where value has not been given the focus that it requires. For example, we are in a country that we are struggling with issues of value. If we don't give ourselves into this journey of discussing and engaging values, we will be doing not only ourselves a disservice, but the entire nation and the entire world a disservice. So I want to assure you that we are not only going to focus on your academic work, we'll also get to engage how we can be people of character, discipline, integrity, and all that. These are the people we are working with. I'm sure we will be talking and engaging our Vice Chancellor later in the day. We had a discussion yesterday with our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Reed, myself. We'll also be having a conversation briefly with the chairperson of the student organization, and you'll get to interact how best we can work across these cadres. What is our mission? I want to make this very clear because as student welfare, you are part of this army. The army with a mission, with an objective, that would want to create an environment and an experience that will help you to be a better person. You are one out of millions of young people in the university at such a time as this. And our commitment is that in your uniqueness, in your potentials, and your capacity, we should create a new experience that will empower you to be a good person, to be an excellent person, to realize your dreams and be the best. We've been sharing and even having entertainment, and you've seen some of our students doing excellent work. Allow me to mention that, for example, the first gold in basketball that has ever been won by Kenya, ladies, was won by our student who is a team member in our national basketball ladies team. Our drama team is doing exploits. Our basketball team is playing at the Premier League level because we recognize and we acknowledge that all these people have a responsibility to play, and we have a way in which we are supposed to help them to realize their dreams. Just look at the mission, the 1, 2, 3. I want you to go through that briefly and just internalize, because I want you to realize where you are going to play. Thank you. I hope you have interacted with that and really seen how we are going to play. But maybe for me to just understand where we are coming from, I want to just take the direction that Professor Reed took yesterday. Go to the chat and just put one goal that you have that you would want to see ANU help you realize. I just want to see those chats coming so that we can start to amalgamate your goals and our focus and our mission. I want to see those goals coming. Just go into the chat. What is that one goal that you think is in your mind that is focused on transforming the world? I'm sure as they come, we'll start thinking through and just seeing how well we want to align our mission to what lies ahead of us. And I'll be asking Maureen kindly be taking note of that. Now, we have a number of functions. These are the functions that are in my office. And at this point in time, I want to be allowing Maureen to immediately put up a presentation, because we just want in the next 5 minutes to understand some of the functions from the members of this department. She will be speaking to issues of health and wellness. She will also be addressing a few issues to do with student catering and accommodation in the event that we open maybe in the next semester. We may need to have 1 or 2 information. I want to stop here briefly for the next 5 minutes, 08, and then I'll be able to pick up again after 6 or so minutes. Maureen, please let me stop sharing so that you can pick up from there, and then we can proceed.
So thank you, Dr. Boyo. I appreciate the very overall picture you've given our new students on what other services or what other life that they'll have to live on campus. So my work today is to talk about auxiliary services. As you heard, I work under the Dean of Students Office, and I also work with a team of 6 people who work in the university health services. So what do we offer? Just a moment. So the university, when on campus, you will realize, first of all, from your fees that you will pay some medical fees when you come back physically. And we hope that is going to be in January. So when you pay that medical fees, what happens is that the university runs a health unit. This is a requirement by the Commission for University Education that all universities run a health unit, and we have values that we live by. We aim to offer you holistic and professional health services. We offer emergency medical care. We have an on-campus ambulance that is fully equipped. So in case anyone requires emergency care and first aid, we will do that. We also equip all our teams. Student activities are very many. There are sports. You go around the country, you go to other campuses, and you require first aid kits and first aid training. We offer that too. What else do? We educate and update the university community on what trends are changing in healthcare. For example, when COVID-19 came, we were required to be at the top of things, and we still are even currently. We need to know what is happening out there that will have an effect on us in campus. We also have other activities like public health activities on and around campus. We make sure that, for example, our garbage is well handled. We may not execute it, but we are monitoring it. We are monitoring our catering services to ensure that all standards of public health are adhered to. Before we reopen, our business is going to be to make sure that your classes are safe for you. COVID is going to still be with us in January. So that is part of our business. Other activities are initiative activities that have an impact on our community, not just within Nazarene, but outside. So the health facility is a simple one. It's a health center model. It offers consultation services, laboratory, and pharmacy services. Off campus, we do health education and, of course, monitor disease trends. So we have a team, and the team is made up of clinicians. We have Robert, he's a clinician and a public health. We have Josephine, we have a laboratory technologist who's called Steve. We have Lucy, our pharmaceutical technologist. We have Victor, our nursing officer. We have Wilson, our nurse aide. And we have me, I'm a clinician, but I also lead the team. Most importantly, these people will be your friends. The clinic is a popular spot for our students who want to weigh themselves, who want to ask health questions. And because it is, when you come on campus, it is nearer to what we call the south end of the campus. It's a free space for people who just want to chill out and discuss. It's more than just a health facility. It is a youth-friendly space for you. We also work with external health providers for things that we normally don't provide, like checkups for eyes and dental and those things. Our aim is to keep you well, to prevent disease before it happens. And for that, we work with other providers. The poster you're seeing there is from 2018. Every year we try to work towards a wellness week, preferably twice a year, where we work with other providers to provide those checkup services that you normally don't get when you come to the clinic. And we look forward to doing that come January. Someone yesterday, I think this was Hadley yesterday was asking something about why is Nazarene not opening in September? And I thought that this question is best answered by us looking at something very important, and that is COVID-19. We cannot leave this session without talking about COVID-19. Yes, there has been discussion in the media, whether the discussion is well discussed or not, of whether schools should reopen before January. Now, this is just a graph showing how COVID-19 has been up until yesterday. You can see we are down here. Our cases peaked sometime in July when we had 900 and something, and now we are low. However, does that mean COVID is gone? No, it's not. Testing capacity in Kenya is low, and that is a fact. WHO yesterday issued a very, very clear statement that we should be careful. Let's not celebrate yet. Our contact tracing is low. So that means we continue practicing the things we've been practicing. As young people, you're healthy. You're generally not at risk of dying from COVID-19, even if you get it. However, if we were to reopen without proper public health and epidemiological controls, your lecturers may not be necessarily your age. A lot of people, even students, have asthma, diabetes, and those are the people at highest risk. Most people will not die from COVID, but the few who get it and have other underlying conditions are the most at risk. And universities and all institutions are required to put certain things in place for them to be able to reopen safely, and they have to be inspected by the ministry and the commission to be told you are safe to reopen. Africa Nazarene is working hard towards that, so that when we tell you to come back in January, we are sure that our spaces are safe, that you have everything in place, that should we even get one COVID case, it will not lead to disaster. So Hadley, I hope I have answered your question and I hope you're here today. These are some of the auxiliary services we work with other providers, for example, eye checkups. Yeah, so that comes to the end of the clinic presentation, or the health services presentation. I was told to talk about other services. Abdi, please mute your mic, or somebody mute Abdi. So Nazarene also offers transport. Not everyone lives on campus. Our staff and our students, majority live outside, some as far as Rongai or around Nairobi, and they require to commute. We have buses that operate shuttles in the morning and in the evening, paid for, subsidized rates of using the ANU buses. However, most importantly for your student life, these buses are booked for activities, for trips, for excursions, that student groups, clubs, classes need to do. And there's a process for that, which you learn when you will come on campus. With regard to moving to and from campus, these shuttles will mostly run in the morning and in the evening. Then we have student accommodation. The pictures you're seeing there are samples of the male hostels. We have a total of 5 different male hostels. This one, no, 4 different. This you're seeing here is a sample of 3 that are on campus, but within the university property. Could someone kindly mute the person talking? Within the university property, we have another hostel called JB. All those accommodate male students. The rates are communicated by the dean, by the finance office when you are required on campus. If we resume, you'll also be able to choose the kind of room you want. This is a sample room in the male hostels. This is the one for 2. A bit of the accommodation will change because of COVID-19 protocols. For example, we had accommodation that could take 3 people, but that now will change depending on how January is going to be like. Then we have the female student hall. This is a large hall. It accommodates all our female students. It has self-contained and non-self-contained rooms. Each room accommodates 2 students, very beautiful rooms. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture of the room, but it's a beautiful hostel with places to relax and even relaxation outside. Basically, our campus environment is very, very serene and very conducive for learning. When we reopen, as I said earlier, we will make sure that the precautionary measures are adhered to within the hostels and outside. Other details that are required of you if you are a boarding student are available in the Student Life and Academic Handbook. A link was sent yesterday, and I think a link will also be sent today by John Henry. In addition to the accommodation we have on campus, the Dean of Students Office knows that not everyone can be accommodated on campus. So what do? They work with hostel providers outside to make sure that when they recommend a space, they're recommending a space that is safe and that is good for you and that has been inspected and been deemed to be good by the university administration. We have catering services. Catering services are flexible, but as long as you're a boarding student, you're required to pay for meals. We normally have 2 different providers and 2 different catering points. The catering points are have a dining area, cafeteria area. They have different meal options depending on how much you want to pay. If you're a day scholar but you want to eat on campus, again, that is possible. The cafeterias serve meals, they serve snacks, and even drinks like juices, milk and all those kind of things. So you just get to choose what you want. Our meal paying system is biometric. So you can decide to eat at, for example, one catering service provider in one of the buildings. In the morning, at lunchtime, you eat on this other side. And because it's a biometric system, all those details will be captured. These are details you will learn once you get on campus in January. Security, we are very keen on security. There are mandatory checks at the gate on entry and exit from our security guards. Everyone, including staff, is expected to comply with this. Our security guards are available 24/7. We have our in-house supervisors, a staff of 3 people, led by Mr. Kiplangat Peter. There's Teresia and there is Boniface. You will get to meet all of them. They handle all our security details. And then we have an outsourced security company. Now, for those living on campus, we have, I don't know the dogs, how many they are right now, but probably a little over 30. Most of them are of the German Shepherd breed, and they'll be out between midnight and 4 a.m. And our students generally know you're out after midnight at your own risk. However, despite all the security we have, you take personal responsibility for your valuables when on campus, especially your electronic equipment, your phones, your iPads, your tablets, and everything that is of value to you, whether you're a boarder or a day scholar, because your security starts with you. So I think I've come to the end of my presentation, Dr. Boyo. I hand it over back to you. From the comments, I'm seeing someone asking about PlayStation. Someone else is asking about pool. Yes, there's a pool area. I didn't have the pictures. There's a pool for you. There's an area for gaming. So Sikinan, don't laugh at him. He's right to ask about that. So Dr. Boyo, I hand this over back to you.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you for doing that in a very concise way and demonstrating and showing really our services. I have gone through I'm actually consumed going through the dreams and the goals that our students have. And I must say that I'm taken back. People have got dreams. I must celebrate you guys. You've got dreams. I am reading here, sharpen my integrity, successful lawyer, music and badminton. I want to leave a mark in everything. I mean, this is incredible, and I'm very proud. Leader, I want to be an exemplary leader. Wow, wow, wow. This is fantastic, I must say. One very interesting one. I just want to make my mama proud. Awesome, awesome. That is very key. And really, the journey begins today. That is a goal. That is a dream. Most importantly, is to start working on that dream and working on that goal. We are a support function. I am so happy most of us are talking about leadership, our talents, the areas of influence, and all that. It is our commitment that we should be able to support us, to create an environment, to create a platform. I see even one of us here is saying that he wants to make to the basketball national team. As I mentioned again, our students are there. Some of our students are in the national team, some of them are in the professional teams. So really, you've got an opportunity. I hope that our coach and the team are taking care of that. But again, as I said, work begins today. And really, if we are going to write history and we are going to write something about ourselves, it got to be this authentic. And my challenge to us is that as we put forward a platform, we should be able to make use of that platform, follow through with a lot of diligence and consistency so that we can be able to move to the next level. I want to call Ruth Kiriamana. so that in the next 4, I see our time is moving so fast. Ruth Kriyamana, if you could take up to 3 or so minutes just to talk about student counseling, and then we can be able to be bringing this to an end in the short while, because you also have student council. I'll be giving them again 3 or so minutes. Ruth Kriyamana, if you can hear me.
Yes, I am hearing you.
Please, 3 minutes begin now. You can just make a highlight on the student counseling.
Okay, let me. Good morning. Are you able to see my screen? I hope I've not moved out. Good morning.
Ruth, we cannot see your screen. We can see your name. We cannot see you nor your screen.
Okay. Maybe then I may not want to share at this point. Am I there now? Oh, Lord.
Not yet.
Okay. I think I'll.
Ruth, you are now on. We can see your screen. You can present.
Okay. And now? You able to see my screen now?
Yes, that is good. Make it full.
Okay. Make it full. From which point, Maureen? Maureen, from which point?
Look at the bottom right, where they zoom to 100%. Yet, okay, good. Now, look, move to the left. There's a PowerPoint presentation. There's a presentation icon there. Just to move your cursor. I want to direct you from your cursor point of view, please. No.
Oh, I'm seeing myself signing out, and I don't want that. Let me continue from where we are, John.
Proceed.
Yes.
Proceed.
Yeah, let me proceed from where I am. Let me welcome the new students. My name is Ruth Kriyamana. I'm the university counselor, and I'm happy to welcome you into Africa Nazarene University. We are a university that is so committed to have you have a good mental health. While you are with us, we are really able to help you see yourself as somebody who is holistically healthy. And we cannot exclude mental health on issues of your life. And so I welcome you to a mental health exercise, an exercise that will help you to experience your time in Nazarene as an wholesome life, as a life that is full of energy, full of happiness and joy. Because if you lack the joy, you're not going to have a good life at Africa Nazarene University. We talk of mental health as something that helps you to cope with any issue of life that arise. Sometimes things that arise are things like just because you're coming from a high school joining the university. The university is a place of everybody. People come from all manner of communities. Some come from the rural, some come from the urban, some are international students, and we are all combined together to make this community of ours the best that it can be. And therefore, when you come there, adjustment becomes a very important thing. So how do we do this? We do this by, one, making sure that you have a counselor that you can access at any given time. We have an office in Hillstrom. We are two of us who are full-time counselors employed by Nazarene to do that job only. However, we also work with peer counselors. They are very handy, and I welcome you to become part of the peer counseling group, because all you need is to do a training which will enable you to now be able to help in counseling. We also train other courses like leadership training, where we deal with the soft skills. And what are soft skills? Soft skills are things like negotiation skills, where you are able to meet with others and discuss, and instead of fighting, you agree or you negotiate and say, this is what we want to achieve. Another key thing about counseling in Nazarene, my observation for many years, is that actually you need to be able to seek for this service. Because if you don't seek for it, you're not going to achieve so much. Our dean talked about issues to do with setting goals. You cannot set a goal for the world without setting your own personal goal. And therefore, the journey starts with us, helping you to set your personal goals. So you set your personal goals that helps you to cover issues of academic, issues of relationships, issues of how you want to maintain even your health, how to relate with your lecturers, your parents, and everyone, and also how to take care of your little or too much money. Because I know many of you will either come with so much, while others will come with just something to help you survive. Whichever the range of your finances, the counselors will help you to cope and show you other areas where maybe you can access some help so that you don't struggle while you are in the university. We are very careful about normal issues of life, and therefore our services are non-judgmental and confidential. There is no challenge that is too big or too small. I tell people there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever has happened to you, most likely has happened to many others. And so when you come over, and even now as we talk, if you're going through an issue, please come and let's be able to work on those issues. There is maybe something that I've called in these lines, real life, real issues. What are these real issues? What are these real life challenges? These real challenges are real because you at one point are going to experience them. Some of them is just the obvious thing like a transition. Now you are transitioning from high school to the university. So that is an area that you need a counselor to discuss. Affirming your career choice. Some of you may want to change your career. Instead of coming to me, instead of
Madam Kiriamana, please unmute yourself. We've lost you a little bit. Unmute yourself. Go to the Zoom meeting. Yes, thank you. Proceed.
Sorry, I didn't realize that. At what point did I get muted so that I repeat what maybe I said?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is that the real needs that we deal with include things like transition. You're transitioning from being a student in high school to the university, and therefore you need to discuss with the counselor. Another issue is affirming your career. some of my students have come in that year and they want to change. And you're wondering, how come you didn't discuss this early? Because you can see actually they are misplaced. And therefore we encourage you to discuss these issues as early as possible so that we are able to you are able to choose your career goals, set them right, and be able to meet them according to where you want to reach. Issues to do with the grades. Don't you some students will come when they have failed or we call them. It's important that you realize early enough that the first cut, the first exam matters so much in your success at the end of the day. This is not a high school where Form 4 life will determine what you get. Here it is cumulative from the first cut to the end. And therefore I encourage you to discuss it early so that we train you, we teach you, and then you'll be able now to gather your marks so that you succeed well. We talk about interpersonal relationships. We talk about bereavement, struggling with the psychological disorders. All these are timed together in our offices, and we are able to help you. Maybe finally, what I may want to talk about is that we are open. Even now, you are our students, and we really welcome you. You are our students. Our numbers will be projected. Our emails are available. That is myself and David Jones. Our emails are there. Feel free. You are our student, and start communicating with us, and we shall be able to walk with you all the journey. Always remember, in a multitude of many counselors, your plans are established. But if you ignore, I always tell my students, you included, that this service is already paid for. You don't need to pay more. Just show up in whichever medium, and we shall be able to work together. As I said earlier, we are non-judgmental, we maintain confidentiality, we are professional. So when you come to us, we will be able to guide you. And where we are not able to, we are connected with a number of psychiatrists and other helpers who can take over from us. So we have a referral system where we refer our students for further help. Otherwise, karibuni sana. Welcome to Africa Nazarene University. Make the most out of your experience there. God bless you and God keep you well. Thank you so much. I return the meeting to our Dean of Students. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiriamana. Thank you so much. I want us to move so fast so that we can bring this to a closure in the next very few minutes. Maybe before I conclude on what I want to say and invite briefly student leader, let me ask Richard to briefly, just in a minute, speak to issues of international students and the issue of mentorship as well. Richard, please. Richard, you are still muted. Just unmute and speak briefly in a minute or two to international student affairs. As you can remember, we are talking and engaging with students from Burundi, Rwanda, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, South Sudan, Uganda. They are cross-border. They would want to find out how they can connect and what is their space at ANU.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Dr. I will be very brief. I hope you can be able to see my screen. Thank you. I'll be very brief. My name is Richard. As I said yesterday, I work in the office of the Dean of Student, Dr. Victor Boyo. I'm student service assistant, and I deal with the student international students and mentorship. You can see flags. Mostly when you join our country, we ensure that your flag is there. So please ensure that when you report on physical campus, we buy flag for your country. That's of course our campus, a beautiful one. I want to welcome more international students. When you join the ANU, you join with a visitor's entry, and immediately when you come, we apply what we call KPP, Kenya Pupils Pass. And again, you see all our flags are there, all countries' flags are there. It's only I don't have much time. I would have taken you through each country, but I think that one would do. So this time when you join the country, we acquire for you Kenya Pupils Pass. And that is only issued to applicants for foreign students who are coming to study. Then how do we do this? We must have a duly filled, signed, and stamped application form, Form 30. That's what the student fill. Then we'll give a detailed a letter cover from the university. Then definitely we'll do that. We'll require the letter of the sponsor. We'll require student visa, biodata, passport valid. If you're being sponsored, we require also about data of the passport. Does not mean to be valid because the sponsor is not within the country. Then also we need a proof of funds for self-sponsored students, copy of valid national passport, current immigration status. We also require the two passport size photo, and they must be colored, white background. Document in foreign languages should be translated. Then copy of the school and college's registration certificates, clearance letter from the Department of Refugee Affairs. Then we also require police clearance certificates. This one you must get it from your country so that you can be able to be cleared when you join here. Now, if you're from Nigeria, you must provide original National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. It is called NDLEA, clearance certificates is a requirement. And mostly when we present documents to immigrations, they will require that. I'm doing this very fast. Maybe when you come on the ground, we'll be able to do this. The disclaimer is incomplete applicant will not be accepted. And application, they are all of them presented and stamped and taken out. Students also are involved in outreach. When you join another family of students, and they'll be able to do this. Dean, that is one part. I'll talk about mentorship. Maybe I don't need to show a slide on this, but maybe for the purposes of this, because I know that we have a pressure of time. When you join, basically, you will be able to join a group of mentors. And this group of mentors will be able to guide you on how you are going to go about it. Dean, do I have a bit of time? I present the other presentation.
Yeah, I think it just take a minute to talk to us about mentorship.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, this is a mentor, is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. That is there, you can see it. The mentors have the vision to be the university of choice for individual that's Christ-centered, or that one was done. 3 C's are there. We've talked about these programs. Now, mentorship is done through the various schools that mentee is registered to. Some of you are registered in law school, business school, School of Religion and Christian Ministry, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, School of Science and Technology. So the mentorship groups will be in those platforms. We have this organogram here, how this program works. Again, this one will be shared in this manner. This is the board. This is the board that work with, that the chair at the moment is Melvin. Kyoko, who is here. Maybe Kyoko, you could wave. I can see you there. Then we have what is mentorship then? This is defined as a relationship between two people where the individual with more experience, knowledge, connection is able to pass along what they know or what they have learned. A mentee, a mentor is simply a wise and trusted advisor. We have the role of mentors there to share, to guide, to facilitate, to listen, to inspire, to support, and to welcome. That's the greatest role of a mentor. Since you are joining a university, exactly you don't know what is happening, these are the people that will take you around to classrooms, to the library, to the gym, to the places that you are looking for. If you're international student, they'll take you to an orphanage to enjoy our country. All those kind of things they'll be able to do. And I believe with that, Mr. Dean, because of time, maybe I can only mention how the group is mentoring fraternities. We have Pi, Delta, Gamma, Omega, and Alpha. We have 5 fraternities. These are Greek letters. These are Greek letters. So they are normally grouped in those schools. So you are likely when you come, you'll be either Delta from law, maybe a Delta from a school of religion, or Gamma or Omega, Alpha. Then they are joined together and they operate in those respective places. So I would like to say karibuni sana and welcome, be part of this great team, and also be mentored so that you can mentor someone else. And this is where the transformation starts. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you, Dean. Over to you, Dr. Boyle.
Thank you, Richard. Let me mention this, and it's important for our new students to take note of this. The product is only as good as the process that it goes through. At the end of the day, your value will be directly proportional to the process that you subject yourself to. And that's why as ANU, we not only have academic issues, we have built into this a credible mentoring process that will be able to help you be the best person that you can be. Before I proceed, let me just allow the leader of mentorship to greet us. So I know we'll be having sessions with him later on, maybe in our groups. But Melvin, if you can put on your microphone and just greet us, introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Dean. I think I'm very excited to see everyone here, especially the new students. It's interesting, but way that you can grow a person, because I've seen most of you have a lot of goals, great goals, and only through mentorship can you achieve them. So thank you, Sanam Bonadine. We'll talk more later on.
Thank you, Melvin. You are going to be subjected to a process that will help you make sense of your goal, equip you with the tools that will help you realize your goal. I want to, at this point in time, to give the student leader, this must be Stella Ndaisi, if you can hear me, or whoever is making the presentation, to just make a brief presentation on behalf of Student Council. I'll give you 2.5 minutes or so. Other times so that we interact more, but just for this time, I want you to greet our students and say something and introduce 1 or 2 things to do with the Student Council. Stella, please.
I don't seem to see her. She was here earlier on. Stella, are you in?
I hope you can see my screen.
Ah, yes, now I can see the screen. I was looking for your face.
Okay. So my name is Ndaisi Stella, the chairperson, student
Stella, we can't hear you.
The university of choice for many. So we begin. Who's the Students' Council? Who are we? So it's just a body under the Dean's office. Basically, our role is to link the students with the administration, air the abuse to the administration, and look for administration having,
Stella, your sound is not so good.
So we were put in office by the students democratically. So yeah, you're very much welcome to the ANU community. As the chairperson,
Stella, you may put off your video so that the bandwidth is, yes. Proceed.
Yes, Mr. Janendri.
I'm saying you may be having trouble because your video is on, so you may mute your video and proceed with the presentation on audio.
Okay. Am I okay right now?
Yes, you're good now.
Okay. So as I was saying, you can take a screenshot of this. You can reach out to us via our emails. As you can see, with
you're breaking, Stella.
The Dean of Students, this photo down here, the selfie one. Just recreational activity.
Stella?
Yes, Madam.
We can't, you're breaking a bit. Probably you can go back and explain this slide. I think we lost you there.
Madam Maureen.
You're good now, go on.
Okay, as I was saying, you can reach out to us by our
and then maybe we can, if we could do this later on. Stella, you are breaking quite a bit. Maybe you could stop there.
Yes, Mr. Dean.
You are breaking quite a bit. Maybe you could stop there to check on your network, and then I will call you later so that you can finish. You are breaking quite a bit. You are not able to follow. Apologies for that. You just stop, and then we could check that again, and then I'll bring you on board again shortly. Just check on your connectivity so that we can get that, because it's very important that we get the information clearly. I'll be calling Stella later on, but as we move towards the end of this, let me go back to my presentation and just bring to a close a few issues. I talked about the process and all that, the mentorship, the student council, and all other systems that are in place. But this is a very important area as well, as I had mentioned, that character is one of our core values, and it's something that we are really passionate about. And there are a few things that is important for students to take note of. And it's important for me to just lay this foundation that our regulation, especially as a new community of students, are founded on three principles: God's moral law, the law of the land, judgment and prudence about practices or behavior. Those three key issues really guides how we conduct ourselves as a community. I've seen so many questions and charts that relate to what defines us, what norms us together. If we are able to look at things from these three perspectives, you can be rest assured that that in a sort of perfect way defines what sort of a community we are. In acknowledging that, we are saying that number one, students have a right. So it's not a debate, it is a right to quality and transformative education. So as you settle in, anything less than that, know that it's not part of us. This is only possible if we are able to continuously get responses and feedback from us so that we can continue to make sure that each and every day that is realized. Number two, we have responsibility as students to conduct ourselves in a way that, yes, our rights are taken care of, but again, we respect the rights of others. And then the third thing, it is an obligation. Basically, this is an obligation to underscore that it is something that is required of each and every student to adhere by what has been put down to define us as a community. I'll be referring us to the student guide and academic handbook. It distills the expectations of our students. And we are so particular that this should not only apply when you are on campus, but because you are part of a larger ANU community, it should be able to reflect also when you are out there. We have shared the link to the student guide together with the academic handbook, and it is very clear on what are the expectations, what defines us as a people, what are the do's and what are the don'ts. I've briefly summarized here, and really it shouldn't be about the law per se, but it should be about the importance of embracing these things and following through the laid down regulation and the importance of the output of the process. And as a people, the issues of deception, disrespect, drug abuse, which is really a big issue amongst our young people, gambling, immoral conduct and sexual promiscuity, and all these, theft, battery, assault, bribery, and all kinds of criminal activities, harassment, destruction of property within the university or elsewhere. There are very basic things that we are telling ourselves as a community that this is not part of us. This is just a summary, but one of the things that is required to you on your admission is to sign a document that says that I've read, I've understood, and I comply, or rather I promise to comply with the rules and regulations. There is a summary that is given. However, today I'm referring you, make it a point to go through the student guide, page by page, understand all those campus life prohibitions, as well as what is encouraged of us insofar as our personal and private conduct and corporate conduct is concerned. Having mentioned that, I saw there's a lot of questions as well to do with dress code in our chat. As a university and as a people, that is also an area that we have looked at. And in our guide, we have highlighted what really defines our students insofar as dress code is concerned. But the basic minimum standard that we are talking about here is modesty and professional outlook. Of course, we are going into details to enumerate and to itemize what immodesty may mean. But for as long as in your style of doing things, you are observing modesty and you are observing a sense of professional dress and outlook, including makeup and all that, you will see that you'll have an easy time. But again, that has been critically addressed and itemized in Article 4 of the Student Code of Conduct. From today, please make it your friend, read it, and this will prepare you not only for life in ANU, but even for life beyond. Before I go to engagement, let me mention this. The handbook also itemizes and lays down a procedure as to what will happen if a student does not adhere to this. As you have seen, number one, we have a very robust student counseling program. We have a very elaborate student mentoring program. We have a very supportive university system, staff and officers. And all these things has been put in place to help us successfully go through the system. We've seen students come from different walks and forms, but being subject to a new system, they have been able to transform and be examples in the society. And we hope that will happen also to us, that we'll continue being better, and those that probably are struggling with some of these things, you will find space to reform. However, if all comes to all and we are not able to comply, you are deemed a person that is worth to go through a disciplinary mechanism. And it's important for me to lay that down, that within that process, which is very clear in the handbook, you can either be subject to warning, you can be subjected to suspension, and you can be subjected to a discontinuation from the university. And we are very firm and very strict and very focused insofar as managing all these. So start your journey with that in mind. Read, get to understand, so that you can position yourself in a place that you want to be. Remembering that in law and in all that, ignorance may never be defense. But before we come to that point, I've mentioned all these systems that are in place. And today we will be inviting even those of us, because we appreciate our young people. Some of them are struggling with these things, and some of us are addicted to drugs and whatever. What we do in our orientation, we make invitation. If you need assistance, get in touch with our counseling office, get in touch with my office. We will put you through a system that will help you overcome these challenges. The sooner you do that, the better. One of my mentors taught me that if you don't give yourself to the pain of character formation, you'll be a subject of pain, of regret. And that is my call to us. As we start this journey, understand that as a university, matters of character, student discipline and conduct, how we talk, how we engage, our language is seasoned in a way that can edify the society and can be of value. Many questions have come up relating to sports, engagement, and whatever. That is what is captured within our student engagement. And as you can see, we are engaged in so many areas: athletics, sports, societies, community service, art and talent. Identify yourself with a club where you can be nurtured, where you can play a role, where you can contribute. We have so many clubs that speaks to so many interests and needs. Identify yourself: drama, music, enactors, law assembly, peer counselors, environment, peace, Christian Union, Red Cross, Model United, Compassionate Ministries, accounting, marketing, all those, Rotaract and all that. And if you can go to our social media platforms, most of these clubs at ANU have been doing amazing, amazing work. Some of the students have been exposed because of these clubs and have been traveling abroad across the globe. And really, these are the opportunities that you may want to tap into immediately as you begin. I'm sure we'll be interacting more about that. And you'll be able to see the kind of competition these people are involved in, environment and all that, and all the activities, law society, and these students, you can see how wonderful they are dressed. And this really defines who we are. So you need to be adjusting and repositioning yourself as to how this community looks like. Recreation and sports. I said yesterday, let me repeat again, we are big in sports and development of sports amongst our young people: volleyball, netball, rugby, soccer, athletics, softball, handball, rollball, and floorball. I'm sure some of you have all these names. We are among the few universities, I said yesterday, that has an indoor arena, apart from Kasarani Stadium and Nyayo Stadium. The only other place you can find an indoor stadium for basketball is Africa Nazarene, and you can check and you'll confirm that. We have a fully equipped gym, aerobics, Zumba, weight training, and all that. You can be involved in that. We have a variety of indoor activities, table tennis, chess, and so many assorted board games. You need to be engaged, you need to be involved, start to communicate to us so that we can start positioning you. I was seeing yesterday some people already asking about joining teams and whatever. All those protocols are there. And now that we've made this available, using the contacts that we have provided, whenever we resume, let's get engaged. I've talked about drama. Check on our social media again. We are doing amazing. Once or twice, we've been national champions in several activities. And you would see that I've seen from the charts, most of us want to nurture our talents. Some of our students here are already professional actors and thespians and all that. And you realize that the sooner you tap into this, the better you become. Taekwondo, volleyball, softball, quite an array of activities, and we're doing quite well. So many awards over time, and we hope that you are coming to join to be part of this. Dance, there are those that could do modern dance, twist, and whatever. This is your time. There are things you can only do while on campus. We are giving you this opportunity. You can see international students there doing their thing. It's amazing. Someone was asking about bashes and whatever. You can see the kind of activities and bashes and all that do happen. Stella was talking about the council. Maybe I hope she should be ready to conclude on her remark. But as we do that, this is the current team. The council is composed of members, starting with the chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, treasurer, and directors in charge of sports, academic affairs, and also a director in charge of international students. Those that want to nurture their leadership in whatever areas. These are some of the things that you may want to interact with, see how they function, see how you can support, see how you can be mentored to be one. And this is the team that is currently serving. A wonderful team doing great job managing our affairs, even on virtual mode. I'm sure immediately after this orientation, they'll be recruiting you to the activities. They are doing virtual concerts and all that. I don't know whether, Stella, you are good to finish on your presentation before I conclude. Is your network now okay? Stella?
Yes, Mr. Dean, I'm ready. Ben Kigera will be doing the presentation as I talk.
Let me stop sharing so that I give you a minute to conclude. Yes, you can proceed now. You can proceed, Stella.
Okay, so sorry for the poor presentation that we had before. I hope this one will be better. So as I was saying, as the chairperson of the Student Council 2019-2020, we welcome you to Africa Nazarene University, the university of choice, with full of opportunities for you to grow and be a better you. As a university, as you've heard from the Dean of Students and everyone who's spoken before me, that Africa Nazarene University has been excelling in different fields, different things, and us to help us continue with the legacy and be part of the team that brings the trophy back home. And as a council, we are proud that you chose Africa Nazarene University. Thank you, Ben. And we can go to the next slide. As a council, we were elected in by the students of Nazarene in 2019 November. um, we're very, um, how should I put this, welcoming. And as a council, we would love you guys to reach out to us via our emails, and we can also, form these groups. We can have a meeting later via Google Meet so that we can share what we have in store for you guys, like the events, the previous events, and you guys can share your expectations, what you expect from the Student Council uh, on the chat section, and we'll appreciate your feedback. So as I have seen, many of you are very much interested in sports, clubs, becoming leaders, becoming better you. So in Africa Nazarene University, we have different clubs as the dean has presented. And personally, I'm a member of 3 clubs. There is no limit to the number of clubs that one can join. I've seen someone asking that. And once you join these clubs, you'll be part of us, grow with us, uh, interact with people, get to know people, expose yourself to different opportunities. And by doing that, I believe you'll be becoming a better you, improving your knowledge base and everything. When it comes to sports, we have a lot of sports available in Nazarene. For those who are interested in badminton, I think that's the main sport that I've seen people being interested in. And we have a coach who's ready and willing to train you people, play up to the nationals, and achieve everything that you want to achieve. We have drama, music, dance, everything that one is willing to participate in. And I'm sure once you get to like the physical learning environment, you'll experience all this. And as a council member who has been serving the students of Nazarene for a while now, you guys being able to join Africa Nazarene and putting yourself, risking to start your first semester online, that's a risk that many students out here have not taken, and that shows you're the leaders of tomorrow. Like, you've taken this risk, you prepared for tomorrow, and tomorrow is online. Everything will be done digitally. And in summary, just be you, do everything that you want to do in university, just take care of yourselves, and don't forget what brought you to Africa Nazarene University. I know once people get to physical learning, a lot will be there, people going for whatever is, but don't forget what brought you to Africa Nazarene University. And at your service, Daisy Stella Kali, the chairperson 2019-2020. Back to you, Mr. Dean.
Thank you, Stella, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We've taken quite some time, but as I had indicated, really there's a lot. We've just captured less than maybe 50%, but we'll end there for today because the engagement continues. We continue to receive questions, we continue to upload the documentation that you need, and we will be sharing this presentation. Thank you so much. I want to stop here and hand over back to Maureen so that we can wind up this session.
Thank you, Dr. Boyo. The chats have been very, very lively. I think most of the things were just comments and you guys preparing for coming back on campus. Kennedy is declaring himself a student leader without elections. Kennedy, hold your horses. You have to campaign and get people to vote for you. For the rest of you, I'm sure you've seen what activities are on campus. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, everyone who was here this morning. Remember, the next link is for the chaplaincy, and we join that in the next 17 minutes. So make sure that you have your link from your WhatsApp groups, and let's see you there in the next 17 minutes. In the meantime, you can take the time to look at the student handbook. Yes, Thank you very much. Oh, on before you leave, I will deny someone entry if the name for your device is offensive. There's someone I have denied rights to enter because they had an offensive name. And remember, we are talking about integrity here. So be careful how you name your devices so that it's not deemed offensive. Thank you. See you in the next 16 minutes.
Yeah. Maureen, before you leave, I've realized that there are some students who do not have the student handbook. I'll be posting a PDF version of the same to your WhatsApp group, so you can have a copy as you wait for your student portal to be activated.
Thank you, John Henry. Thank you so much. All right, tell the rest to join the next link in.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Kwaheri.
John Henry, you can end the session.